Welcome to the Astro Forecast for the week of October 3rd to October 9th. This is a very interesting week. We have two planets that are changing direction and a full moon in Aries. So the energy is going to be building and building and building this week. And again, it depends on your consciousness. If you decide the energy is building for your benefit, then you will have a great week. And if you feel like the energy is building against you, you're going to create that reality as well. So mindset is everything as Mercury moved direct on Sunday. So that means Mercury speeding up relative to the Earth. But until this happens, we call it stationary direct. So think of a pendulum, right? When it's swinging and it's about to come back down, excuse me, it's almost like it suspends just for a moment in time and then it comes back down again. So that's what happens with Mercury when they are stationary direct, is that it's sitting on the same degree in the zodiac for a period of time, for about 5 days or so. So Sunday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Mercury is going to be sitting at that same degree of Virgo. Stationary direct at 24 degrees. So what that means for all of us is it's still going to feel like Mercury retrograde, right? There's still going to be communication issues, coordination issues. Mercury rules coordination. How many of you have been falling all over the place? I literally cannot hit a garbage bag to save my life. Like I threw some Q-tips in the garbage and they all missed. Like I'm like, what? I'm not like I'm doing anything different. My coordination is off. My thought processing is off. I feel like I'm tired. I feel like I'm slow. And I'm a Virgo. So Mercury rules Virgo and it rules Gemini. So you'll notice that if you're a Mercury or Gemini or have a lot of Mercury and Gemini or Virgo in your chart, see, like I can't even talk. So challenging. This is my fourth take, by the way, on recording this as well. I should know during Mercury retrograde and, giving myself lots of patience and time to do this. We also start off this week in a second quarter moon phase, meaning that the moon is gaining in light now exponentially. There is a real kind of push to get something done, to get going on life. We are in, full bore in October now, and we're starting to see the energy start to speed up. Now, what's going to add to this is on Thursday, October 6th, we have a Mercury trine to Pluto, and Mercury is now in direct. It is direct, right? So with Mercury trine to Pluto retrograde, but here is the kicker, is Pluto is now stationary direct. Technically doesn't go direct till Saturday, October 8th, but this planet going stationary direct, it's a slow planet. It moves very slowly and it goes retrograde for the majority of the year. So about half of the year. So it isn't a big deal. I feel like when Pluto goes direct, we don't really notice too much. It almost kind of gains momentum. Again, depending on where Pluto sits in your chart and what sign you are. Pluto rules Scorpio. So if you're a Scorpio, you might feel the energy kind of really shift. But Pluto's energy is about intensity. It's about death, rebirth, and transformation, transcendence, the shadow, right? It's a very intense planet. So when we have Mercury trine to Pluto on October 6th, we also have the moon in Pisces, which is a very sensitive place for the sun to be, or the moon in Pisces. It's a very sensitive place for the moon to be. We are having an experience of intense intuition, but also our knowledge. This is a really beautiful aspect, I think, because with Mercury in Virgo, we're very discerning. We're kind of thinking about where should we be and what should we be doing, organizing, well-being, health. These are all kind of focuses when Mercury is in Virgo. And trine to Pluto in Capricorn is how can we now structure our lives around this? So it can be very intense thoughts, not being able to move off of thoughts very easily, the hamster on the wheel kind of thing, like you can't stop thinking about the thing. But it can be really good if you channel this energy into research, into developing things, into going deeper into concepts. And with the moon in Pisces, this is giving you added intuition to help you with this. So there can be an emotional component to this because of this sensitivity, but this is about the mind. So you don't want to, Mercury trine to Pluto makes your mind very intense and laser focused. But you can focus on details and fixate on details. So the balance here for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is to not get fixated, to not get stuck mindset work. We also need to be doing soul work along it as well. So your brain is potent and sharp. You're uncovering the truth, the ability to communicate with intense power. This is great for speaking engagements. Profound influence, great for speaking powerfully and convincing people. Putting something that you learned into motion now. Remember, Mercury is direct now. So something that you've learned is coming up for you to see it in a new way, for you to transcend that thinking. So there's going to be something around this time, and I've actually wrote karmic friendships or karmic experiences right now, where you're going to be experiencing life lessons, and you have the opportunity now with this Mercury, all the knowledge, wisdom, and gifts that it brought in retrograde, to see situations differently, to choose a different way to react, because what you've been doing haven't been working, right? So you're going to try something new now and see how it works out for you. Life is an experiment. You're figuring it out as you go. There's no handbook for what you've been through, right? We're all going through this together. Friday, October 7th, there's no real aspects on this day. I mean, the Pluto going direct on Saturday is already influencing this whole week because it's a slow planet, and Mercury going direct also influencing this week. But what I noticed with Friday is there's a moon square to Mars on this day, and these aspects are quite fast. Kind of moves through them throughout the day. If you follow me on Instagram, I always kind of have in my notes a little, what the moon is doing on that day. If the moon's not doing something, then I'll do something else. Like it's in between aspects. We call that a void. So a moon void between aspects, between signs. We don't like to do any big decision making during that time. So I'll often sort of share something else at that time. But this moon square to Mars on this day, moon in conjunct to Venus, in conjunct to the sun, where it's a bit of a frustration day, an adjustment needed for relationships. So I would say Friday is a great day to ponder, to introspect on what has happened in the week. This is not a day to make big decisions. It's not a day to be like having deep soul searching conversations. You could. I mean, there's no reason not to have that, but more so to be very aware of how you're feeling and what's coming up for you. Okay, not a forward momentum day, but more so an inner reflection day, bringing your intuition and your mind so ego and soul coming together, not one over the other. October 8th, which is Saturday, Pluto goes direct, y'all. And again, it's so slow moving. We're not going to really feel this, really the direct motion of it for a couple months, a month, I would say at least. But this Pluto direct motion, again, because it's stationary direct, it's sitting on the same degree, same minute for a few days, for a few days. So it's going to be very intensely aware of where you need to transcend, where you're needing to heal. That's going to be a big theme this week, is about healing, transcendence, learning what did you learn from Mercury retrograde since September 9th? And looking at Pluto direct, he's going to be sitting on the same degrees he did from March to June of 2021. So if you can look back on your calendar, March to June 2021 is going to be revisited now, bring something to light in your psyche to develop deeper understanding and evolution. So again, paying attention and being very mindful this week. And I mean, yes, you want to be mindful all the time, of course, but sometimes you're more focused on the outward doing than like the inner world that's happening. That's why mindfulness and meditation are so helpful. But you're definitely going to need those gifts of introspection this week with Pluto going direct. And he's trying to the moon on this day as well. And then the moon is conjunct to Neptune. This is giving us a very intuitive and sensitive day. So you can be triggered on Saturday, and you likely will be triggered this week because of these aspects. But the opportunity in the trigger is to discover a new way to react to the trigger. Okay. And coming with introspection and self-compassion and going, oh, this is why I act this way when this happens. And I get to choose something different with love. Sunday, October 9th, we have the full moon in Aries, and this is a potent Aries full moon. So it's at 16 degrees of Aries, so you can see where 16 degrees of Aries is in your chart. Conversely as well, going back to Saturday, October 8th, where Pluto is direct at 26 degrees of Capricorn. Look to see, if you have your chart, look to see where 26 degrees of Capricorn is, what house it is. That is where the transcendence, the death and rebirth has been happening for you. It is happening in my second house of money. And let me tell you, it has been a shit show. Like, it's just been like, I have to take care of the things that I haven't been taking care of, right? It's giving me an opportunity to get my money house in order because what is ahead requires my money house to be foundationally safe and secure. Thank you, universe, for that. And that's why I love astrology, because it's bringing me this awareness of I need this to be solid. And you know what? Thank you, universe, for bringing me the most amazing CPA and bookkeeping team. Thank you, universe, for giving me taxes that I have to pay this year for next year already. So I will be ahead of the game next year. Thank you, universe, for helping me fix my car that cost me double what I thought it was going to. I can be financially and foundationally secure knowing that I've been taking care of all these things this year. Opportunity. Did it suck in the time that I was having it? But again, opportunity. So this full moon in Aries is hitting 16 degrees of Aries. And this means the sun is opposite in Libra and the moon is in Aries. And this Libra Aries axis is bringing up me versus we. So we just had that experience with the new moon in Libra. Now there's a culmination in Aries, and whatever seed you planted on April 1st, 2022 will be coming to fruition now. So look back on April 1st, 2022 and see what was happening for you at the new moon in Aries at that time, because there'll be an illumination of that intention now. Now, there is the sun and the moon are sitting opposite, and with the sun is Venus. Venus is what we love and value. So Venus opposite the moon is if we're feeling like, where are we feeling like we're not really being seen, or maybe that we're not being able to have what we desire. We're very frustrated that we can't get the things that we want. And we almost feel like what we want is being held away from us, but it's not true. We are just, I always see this as the universe is aligning you for something better, or helping you see where your relationships aren't feeding you, where the way that you're dealing with your money, thank you, is not feeding you, where you are dealing with your own beauty and wellness and health and how it's reflecting back to you in the mirror. You might not be happy with that. Are you taking the steps? Where are you out of alignment? Can you bring more self-love and self-compassion to the story? Because the moon is sitting with Chiron. Chiron is the wounded healer in Aries. Where are we giving away our power? Where do we abdicate our own bold, courageous being because we are subscribing to something outside of ourselves? And then we have Mars, which is the ruling planet for Aries, is square to Neptune. He's doing a lot of great things with all the other planets, but this square to Neptune is feeling like we're losing our power. We're forgetting about our spirit and our really powerful innate nature to create and to be manifestation magnets for what we want, to attract that which we are. But we attract that which we are. So if you're attracting something you don't want, let's look at ways that we can sort of heal that part of us that's needing that lesson so that we can move forward in a way. It's another tool for healing and for transcendence, right? Yay. And also at the time of this full moon, there's a grand air trine, and it's to just kind of, it's Saturn in Aquarius, Mars in Aries, and the sun in Libra. So there's three planets. They're exactly 120-degree angles from each other, and they form a grand trine. And this grand trine is in air. So this grand trine means there's an ease of flow of energy flowing in the air signs. Air signs is about intellect, inspiration, ideas, communication, curiosity. So we have these three planets that are kind of helping us at this time to really get curious and really be intellectual with what is coming up for us now. And where do we actually hold ourselves apart from what we want because we don't think it's part of us? Everything is part of us. We have access to all of it, but we hold ourselves away from it because of wounding, of trauma, of who we think we need to be on the other side of what we want. So this is a great time for intellectual curiosity, opportunities for thoughts, and using this air trine to be detached and calm, to see the situation very rationally and in a way that really, I want to ask not to just be detached and calm, but to also bring love with you. All right. So great week for that. It's a big healing week in the astrology. Every week is a big healing week in the astrology. So wishing you a wonderful week ahead. Thank you for being here. And I cannot wait to see you. Oh, I do have a full moon manifestation workshop coming up for the full moon in Aries. I believe that's on Friday, October 7th. If you'd like to join me, it's $27. You get a handout, law of attraction exercise, and meditation, what the astrology does for your sign, what does it mean for you, so that you can use the energy to manifest and really live life according to your terms. So wishing you a wonderful week ahead. Thank you for being here. Have a great week.